Welcome in season 4, the Cannabiz Conversation Podcast. You'll see I'm running solo is because after 3 seasons, I realized that I've yet to really introduce myself. So I hear a lot about my ask questions about my background, what I've done, who I am, because anyone who sees me publicly, if you will, and publicly by that I mean LinkedIn, you see my automotive life, which is my company here and what I do. That's my career. That's what I have been making a living at for a long time. However, there are I would say a few passions in my life. One is my wife, the other is the car business, and then there is cannabis. It's something I've been passionate about my entire life. Growing up in the Midwest, prohibition is obviously something that we've always dealt with, and stigma of it is something we've always dealt with. And so since the age of, I would say, 14, when I first found the plant, obviously I found it recreationally. I was in a situation where just had a friend, had a neighbor, older brother, and, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, you're smoking weed out of a foiler and you're kind of seeing the world in a different view, thereafter. And I became pretty obsessed with the plant just because of the way that it made me feel. And so it's exciting to be able to, all these years later, share this journey and get into it. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. Today's episode is going to be an introduction to who I am and why I do this show, why we have these guests, what we're trying to accomplish with the show, and how the show is going to change here in season 4 after 3 seasons of doing it a specific way. Now we're going to come at you and we're going to change things up. We're going to have a lot of fun. Change in mind brings us to our new sponsor of the year. Thank you so much to Green Lane Communication. My man, Mike Myers. If you don't know him, his company is incredible. PR agency with cannabis brands, trust to break through the noise and go mainstream. Green Lane Communication powers public relation program for cannabis brands that are done playing small. Bold media placement, thought leadership that turn head. Green Lane Communication helps industry leaders be seen, heard, and remembered. If you're ready to outgrow your competition, own your narrative, partnering with Green Lane Communication is how you do it. Visit greenlanecommunication.com to get started. We are so grateful to them for the sponsorship. They are featured here up in the corner with their wonderful logo, and throughout you will see the banner pop up, Green Lane Communication, because we're going to have fun this season. We're going to change things up. We've been doing a lot of long haul 1-hour shows broken up into 2 parts. We're not going to do that anymore. We're going to bring you a 30-minute hot topic, hot hit, people in the industry, people who are growing businesses, people who are helping overcome issues. The list of people this year is fun, fun, fun. We're going to be talking about ESOP. If you don't know what that means, look it up. It is an incredible way to run a business. I'm interested to find out if I'm kind of doing a little ESOP thing in my own right. I don't know yet, so I can't wait to talk to the folks on that program. But overall, it's going to be incredible. We're going to have a great lineup of guests. But like I said, we're going to keep it short, sweet, to the point. We want everyone to be engaged and help bring the community together. And so that's really why we started doing this show, man. Someone asked me a long time ago if I would consider doing a podcast in cannabis because I have one in automotive. I'm clearly passionate. That's not hard to tell. And so it was a natural fit for me. I had been following the cannabis scene for a long time. One of the first guys I ever followed was Dustin with Fat Nugs. Dustin is an incredible guy, an incredible part and sort of force, as you can see here with Fat Nugs, displayed throughout the industry. And so I knew right away, I really wanted him to be guest number 1. I really wanted to go from there. And then after that, I started to build on relationships that I already had because, again, my background is deep in cannabis. Once I found the plant, I became what we now affectionately refer to as a legacy distributor. And we had a lot of interesting conversations with people about the plant and about just kind of, even at a young age, I became a hippie. If you can't tell, I'm a big Grateful Dead fan. It's displayed everywhere. It was a lifestyle thing, obviously, that kind of fit together with cannabis. And it was something that I wanted to do in my own life, be a little bit more chill, be a little bit more laid back. As someone who's fairly tightly wound as a human being, cannabis allows me to just bring it down a notch. People always joke. I always joke with people that if they knew the amount of downers I'd use to get to this level, they would be shocked. I'm not a caffeine guy. I'm not a anything that kind of bumps you up guy at all. I'm a cannabis kid, is actually what my wife nicknamed me. But my story is one that started recreationally and then went medicinal. At the age of 18, there was confirmed to be a spot on my brain. No one could really understand what it was. It wasn't cancer, or it was cancer, and then it was something else. It was something else. And so then I had to meet with a board of medical and brain professionals in Chicago, and sitting in this room after going on their stuff and their drug giving me a total ripping apart my stomach, giving me ulcers, to then having to be put through like an induced migraine. Anyone who's ever done that, it sucks. And then sit there and just be absolutely lab ratted and look through. And so a boardroom of it was like 8 to 10 doctors asked me how I can, with what they saw on the, scans or whatever, is like the amount of pain you live with, how do you deal? And I was like, man, I'd be honest with you guys, I smoke cannabis, and I mean, you're talking 2000 here, 1999, 2000, 2001. That's not something people heard. And they immediately shot it down. They were like, no, you can't go down this route. There's too many dangers, too many of this. You need to take these, $10,000 worth of pills yearly, and that should straighten you out and everything should be fine. And I wasn't going to do that. I just wasn't. The plant has made me feel a way and helped me deal with things in that way with my headaches that just absolutely it was a non-starter for me. And I told the group that, and I stopped going back to all of the tests and being that lab rat, because at the end of the day, I realized a lot of my headaches were tied to stress and kind of how I lived my life, and that cannabis was helping me relax with that. But, it's also something that from my perspective can be addictive, right? Cannabis. I know it's kind of naughty to talk about, but it's true. It's a reality of the situation, man. It's a drug like anything else. And I have an addictive personality. I joke that I'm an addict of all things. You name it, I'm an addict of it. I've learned in my life the answer to things with my life are moderation. That's how I get through it. Cannabis now is being something more moderated as I get older, which is interesting because you don't normally think that, right? You're like, well, as I get older, I'll just chill more. No, it's changed. My relationship with cannabis has changed in an interesting way. But going on from the legacy distribution side, that's actually how I met my wife, through that business and through meeting people. And so her and I moved to Boulder, Colorado in 2003. And in 2003, seemed like me and a bunch of other people from the Midwest, maybe even the East Coast, moved and migrated to that part of the world, and all realized that there was a medical program that we could all qualify to smoke weed and go to dispensaries. And so, again, it just sort of, we were on it felt like, and anyone please confirm, not confirm, but it felt like 2003, 2004 was really just the Wild West craziness of medicinal in Colorado. And so we immediately became, just engulfed in it. Again, I'm still a car kid, so I've always made a living in the car business. And obviously there's a great tie between the car business and cannabis. There is a great blend there. And anyone who doesn't realize that, maybe we should start having car folks on here talking about cannabis, because it's a real thing and it truly does happen. So anyways, within that crossover, once I was in the car business, any other spare time we had, we were advocating, we were going to shows, we were trying to represent, trying to be a part of that community, because it is so damn important. Then we became medical caregivers and growers at the behest of my buddy Dan, who was just an incredible grower. He was a great guy to learn under, and it was just one of those things that when I had the chance to learn the right way how to do it, I did it, and I was meticulous about it. I was hardcore. I have OCD in general. So plants were just something that were easy for me to get behind. And we had a house full of them. And it was just, growing cannabis is probably one of the, coolest things I've ever done in my life. And it was something that I really dug and enjoyed. We were really getting into. But as life would have it, things changed. We were brought back from Colorado to the Midwest for me to take a corporate job having been in the car business, those are long hours, and I had a chance to get away from those long hours, spend more time with my wife. And so we took advantage of that. We moved back to the Midwest. Had a pick of 3 states, and here I am 15 years later. Clearly, I picked the wrong fucking state because the other 2 states I could have picked are legal now. But I picked the great state of Wisconsin. And so that's where we've lived for the last 15 years, and it is a prohibition state. And I'm not the sort of individual who will take chances on a grow in that way in a state. So I have been without. And so getting to start this show again, talking to killer growers, talking to people who like Damian Solomon, who are like in the mix. They see it every single day. Samantha Seagar growing it, Trent Hancock, master grower. Like, this is why I do this. And these people agreeing to be on the show, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty damn awesome that we get the chance to do that. And so my passion for this industry is going on 30 years here. I turned 44 this year. So 30 years of passion for this industry. But a couple of lessons learned along the way, folks. I'll be honest with you. One of the lessons learned in cannabis is that cannabis is culture. It is all of these things, but it needs to be slightly more open-minded to what goes on in business outside of its bubble. Just from being a bystander and being in rooms, I've listened to people talk about how it's important to have cannabis history, cannabis life. There are people entering this industry. There are people in the background of this industry that it may not be the forefront, and I'm one of them. I can say that honestly. I'm one of them. That I don't make a living at the forefront of this, but I've been in the background helping cannabis businesses for a long time, and in the last 8 years, I've gotten into the bridge loan spot, helping people out, staying away from predatory lending, trying to help people with reasonable rates, get things done in a reasonable time frame. And so I've been there supporting the industry in the way that I can, the way that my business allows, and the way that my time allows. And this is why this podcast has also been fun, because it's brought us to shows, it's brought us to the industry, it's brought us to my guy, Michael with Green Lane Communication, the sponsor of season 4. Don't forget, we love him. Can't say enough great things about him. If you haven't met him or talked to him, Michael Meyer is just a super, super cool human. He's like the same dude in person as he is online. And I like that about people. I like that anyone who's met me would probably say the same thing. Maybe they would say I'm a bit more in person. I don't know. But ultimately, for now, that's what it looks like. So cannabis industry, be a little bit more open to folks who, maybe are new to the industry. And I don't mean that you're not welcoming. I mean that, like, to get into rooms, like, there are people who are really smart in certain places of the world that can help. But if the requirement is 10 years of cannabis background, 8 years of this, like, retail is retail, people. I know it's hard for people to understand, but like in my world, the car business and the cannabis business, outside of illegality, there are so many ridiculous similarities. There are so many crazy things. Joe Hadass had a post about it. I posted all over it about it, because the crossover, the look in, the opportunity to see what is in front of you is there. As someone who, for my entire last decade of my life, has been vetting technologies for other businesses to understand how they integrate. In the cannabis industry, you guys must get pitched 1 billion times a day with things either you don't know about or don't have time to look into. But as Joe points out, there are still wonderful things to be had. So all I'm saying is just take an approach that is not welcoming, because you guys are. That's how I got here. Shit, if it wasn't welcoming, I wouldn't be able to have 4 seasons of this show. But it's just I've been in background rooms of people talking business about cannabis, and the requirement is that there be cannabis background. I don't know that that's the best requirement to have. I guess that's what I'll say. There's a lot of smart business people who might be trying to get into cannabis. Sure, they see it as a gold rush, green rush, whatever you want to call it. We've all seen it. It's real. Okay, people? It happens. It's the evolution of industry. And in our lifetime, we've never seen anything like it. I know no one likes the idea that you look at it against alcohol. But as far as prohibition is concerned, and changing things and rescheduling things and trying to get things moved throughout the government, this is the biggest thing that we've seen. in this world. So we've got to stick with it. But it's going to be a longer haul than that. And so that's what we're trying to do with the show. That's what we're going to be doing this season with the show. Frankly, it's going to be an incredible season of people who are really coming together, as far as I'm concerned, to really get out here and be a part of something different, okay, as I like to say it, in part of the show. So when we do that and we talk about what's going to be different, this season of guests is going to be different. We want people who are going to be able to challenge the status quo, right? Get into something different. We're going to be looking at payroll and business solutions. Mark Rodriguez is going to be on. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to talking with someone. I've already mentioned Darren Gleeman and his deal with the ESOP. If you don't know that, go look at that. It's going to be great. There's going to be a lot of other guests in the background here coming up. Green Check CEO and founder is going to be on. We're going to be talking FinTech, guys. I'm telling you, we're going to be talking pre-roll technology. We're going to be talking robots. We're going to be having, yet only for the first time ever, we're going to be having a second-time guest on the show. That surprise is going to be ahead. That's why you'll want to continue to tune in. And again, we're going to be trying to have as much fun as possible. So if folks see something, say something. If you have a friend or a colleague who you think should be on the show, hit us up. You can find us, Cannabiz Convos, anywhere you do your socials. We're on the TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Obviously, we're there. We're big time there. We love it. And this is going to be a season of fun and trying to bring in some different conversations, trying to blend the business aspect of cannabis with the reality at which people find themselves, because I think that there's a bit of a crossroads happening here and now, and I think it's going to be important to get into that. As I kind of close this out with you, let me just leave you with this. I believe in plant medicine as much as anyone could possibly do, because not only did cannabis change my life, but at the age of 20 years old, like any good 20-year-old, I went on a pilgrimage with plant medicine in the Arizona desert. And it changed my life in a way that it lasted 12, 14 hours, and it was intense. And it took me to some of the craziest places in my subconscious, dealing with trauma and doing all those things. And I see it picking up right now. I see the mushroom legalization. I see the ayahuascas. I see these conversations sort of exploding around me. And I want to just put out a quick kind of Sherpa, drug Sherpa warning here, that if you're going to go down this road and you want to open your mind, body, and soul to plant medicine, be sure that you have a plan for afterwards. Because at 20, I thought I had fixed everything, and I went out there in the desert and I saw it all and I dealt with it all and I cried and I screamed and I did it all, man. I did it all. But what I lacked and what I missed was the plan when I got back, to follow up, to continue to go, because who we are as people and our souls are evolving, and we have to continue to feed it, nurture it, and take care of it. And in order to do that, you have to be able to follow up on those humongous, medical, medicinal plant breakthroughs. They're incredible. They're real, people. They're fucking real. But if you don't follow up on it, what I've learned now, 20 years later, when it all came bubbling back up and I thought I had dealt with it, it sort of took me by tidal wave, is that it was because I didn't follow up on it. I didn't have a plan. I thought I had fixed it. And so plant medicine is incredible, but you still have to do the work. Okay? Don't forget, as always, our goal here is to remove the stigma, uplift the plant to its rightful place in society. We're going to do that this season with the help of Green Lane Communication. Don't forget it. We love them. If you don't know who they are, visit greenlanecommunication.com. But if you're looking to really grow, and I mean grow your business with PR, I'm hard-pressed to find better ones to do it. As a matter of fact, I've been talking with Michael a little bit potentially about how there are other industries, because I'm trying to take cannabis people who are good at what they do into other industries that I'm aware of that could use their help. So again, if you aren't familiar with Green Lane Communication, head over to greenlanecommunication.com. And again, There they are. Don't forget them. We love them, and you will too. Thanks a lot, everyone. I look forward to season 4. I can't believe I took this long to introduce myself, kick things off. I'm glad we've done it. If you have more questions about me or you want to know anything else that I didn't talk about, feel free to ask me. I'm an absolute open book. We look forward to it. Thank you again. Have yourselves a wonderful week, and you're going to be looking forward to episode 2 coming next week. We're going to get the train started. Thanks a lot. We'll see you then.